Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Stephanie, the creative girl behind the designs. If you're stopping by my channel for the first time, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notification alerts so that you know when I post my next video. So I am hopping on today to bring a fun, creative extra page for my planner, and it all has to do with you, the fans. So stay tuned. So we are going to be creating, or I'll be creating, and it's going to be an extra page for my planner. As you know, I do have the Homesteader collection, and it's kind of that vibe that I'll be working with today. And what I'm going to be doing is I'll be using some of these distressed oxides. I'm going to create, let me get in here, an extra page for my planner. As you know, I have these extra pages in here already, and I'm going to create another one that was inspired by all of you, all of my lovely friends and fans who follow my channel and have supported my videos and commented and liked and watched. I truly hope I've inspired you, and I am so appreciative of you watching, taking the time and watching my videos, and if you comment, for commenting. So I kind of wanted to celebrate you today and make this fun little craft. So it's creative, so it's creative planning, but it is basically a planner. It's going to be a tracker. I should have said planner sheet. It's going to be a tracker that I'm going to create, and I'm going to kind of move some of these things off the desk here, and I'm going to start pulling in what I need. So I needed blank paper for this, and this is the only paper I have, which has a rainbow edge, but I'm not going to worry about that. And let's see, so then I have my scrap paper. This is just scratch paper so I don't get my desktop dirty. And this is what it's going to be based off of. I got this stencil from Hobby Lobby at a super great price. It was $8, got it for $2. And when the minute I saw it, I kind of got this vibe from this envelope, or that, this is the banded pouch. I use this as my on-the-go pencil and ruler and marker pouch. So I'm going to be using this stencil on this paper, and it's going to have this vibe to it. And then we're going to talk about what I'm going to be doing so that I can track and celebrate all of you, my fans. Okay. So I'm going to just do this. I'm going to put this paper behind my original paper because I don't want to ruin my desktop. And then I'm going to start getting this stuff put together while I chit-chat with you. And so I don't know where, if where you are it's the same, but where we are now kind of diving into that nice, crisp, cool fall weather, which I am in love with. So I can't wait to drag out my sweaters and my warmer clothes. I'm that person. So I'm looking forward to it. I have no problem with that. So let me take that shiny package off so that you can see this a little better. So this happens to be an adhesive stencil. It almost puts me in mind of like the Cricut stencil material. So it has like an adhesive to it, but it's almost like a window cling. It won't tear the paper in any way. I have not tested this. I realize I should test things, but I don't like to have that perfect result each time. Excuse me. I realize that, it's a time thing and I don't want to go too long, but I feel like if I test things in advance, then I'm not really showing you that planning is not an exact science. The things we create are not exact sciences. These are things that some things work out and some things don't. And that really was indicative in my last video. If you saw that, something didn't work out like I had planned, so I had to switch over and go to plan B. So, you know, I have not tested this. We're going to test it today and see how well it works. So I'm just going to peel this off and hopefully get this right. So what I want to do, because I can't cover the rainbow edge, and again, I'm not overly worried about that. I'm more concerned with making sure I get the majority of the stencil onto the page, because I have a plan for this stencil. And so see, you can see how easily that peels off. It really is almost like a window cling. Of course, I'm fumbling with it, but let's try it this way. There we go. I just want to get it to the corner, make sure I'm on the right side here. And I'm just going to basically try and get it on the paper, right at the corner, and then I'm gonna let it go where it's gonna go. In theory, it should go on straight, but as you know, that doesn't always happen either. So I'm trying to get the most of the image on it, onto the paper, let's say. Once you get the corner down, then you're good, right? And I don't want it to stick to itself. I don't know if it would cut. It should come off. But what I'm going to do is use it just as it's intended, as a stencil. And then I'm going to continue creating the page after the stencil's on or taken off and, you know, the stenciling is done. So I think I've got this here. Okay. So, so the nice thing is having this paper here, it's going to help me to, because it has a little bit of that stickiness to it. Again, it's not really sticky. It's just like a window cling. And so this will help keep the paper underneath my project as I'm working. So I'm just going to make sure there are no bubbles. And then I have these two distressed inks. One's a gray and one is, so this one's Hickory Smoke. This one is Scattered Straw. And I'm thinking, because I have my idea where I will be incorporating my gray mild liner, I think I'm going to go with the yellow for this craft. So what I'm going to use with the yellow to make sure, because all I really need to do is I'm going to get these lines and the bee. Let me see if I can find where it ends. And it ends perfectly right up here, just right under the bee. So I just remember not to do that portion. And then over here, it extends over into the border a bit. No problem. Okay, let's just dive right in, right? This is how I like to do them, as you know. Nothing is perfect, and I don't want it to appear as though it's perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to use to make sure I get the stencil where it needs to be is this little blending brush. It's super, super fine bristles. And basically I'm just going, you can use one, you know, put it on a number of different ways. You could use this one, or there's also those blending, there's circles and you can blend it in. Let me get the paddle for it. It's this here. So you put the foam on it and then you can do that. But I find sometimes when I use that, it will leave a circular mark. You know, again, you got to make sure how you're blending it. It's the right way. So what I'm going to do is start out, and all you do is you just grab some color. It is on the brush. I don't know if you can see that. And let me give you a glimpse. So this was my tester paper. And you just brush it on and see how faint that comes out. It goes on really, really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some more. Now, because I know that I'm right at the top here with the paper and I don't want to get these bees, I'm gonna start here and I'm just gonna gently rub it down. And that's the beauty of by having that paper behind it. So whatever happens to get on there is going to get on this paper, not my desktop. Excuse me, the cold weather, I think I have some allergies going on. Let's see. I'm actually going to, let me just keep going. when I saw this stencil, I was just I immediately had the idea of what I wanted to do. Now, obviously with my subscribers, I don't have a lot of the information that would have been useful at this point for this particular craft, but you know, it is what it is. I do have a plan. I'll show you what it is. We're going to finish it up a bit. And I just love the idea of being able to use this and then track it, and it's cute. It matches my planner. I'm just trying to get a little more up at the top here of this line. And then with this stencil, or any stencil for that matter, you should, after you're done, clean it as soon as you can with some, you know, warm water, soap and water. Nothing harsh, just to make sure that you're, you know, keeping your stencil and your products. These brushes, if you don't plan to use them for, like if you have a number of them, you can use one for each color. But if you use one brush or a couple brushes for the same tasks, you may want to also rinse those off. Just some warm water and some soap will do fine. And then we're just going to kind of brush this on. So I think, you know, obviously I have my idea of what I wanted to do, and I'm hoping it comes out as in person as well as it did in my head. I love this pattern. Ever since that Homesteader line came out, I just am obsessed. And then so that just also so you can see, this tip is very flexible. So if you want to make sure you're getting in a certain spot, you can put your finger on the head of it. I want to make sure I get a good yellow coloring. So I'm pressing just a little harder than I normally would. Plus this stencil is so thin that it's perfect for, you know, you don't have to hold it in place. It's just got that light bit of, you know, adhesive to it. My little lines, they're so small, I think they're having difficulty picking up the color. Let's see. All right. So I don't know, as I'm progressing along here, if you've kind of been watching along thinking, what is she gonna do? Because I just had so much fun with this idea, and I can't wait to show it to you. The nice thing about these inks from the Ranger line, or Tim Holtz line from Ranger, and he has, like, the inks are just great. And so this will be dry by the time I peel this out. It'll be dry, ready. I can start working on it. I can write on it, whatever I want to do. And also too, as I was kind of pondering this particular project, I thought to myself, it's nice if I use this paper, the blank paper, because I can go to the back side when I want to use like in a further extension of the tracker. So I'll also show you, I think I have a piece of tissue on the side here. I'll show you something. As soon as I get this little butterfly all colored in. Hopefully my camera's not jiggling. Sorry about that. Okay. So with this, I just have a piece of paper toweling here. So you can see how easy it'll rub off on the stencil. So with just a little bit of soap and water, it should clean nicely. So I'm going to keep going. I mean, there's always so many great ideas for trackers. I could have done anything, but I just saw this and it spoke to me. And as you know, we should do our part and help save the bees. Maybe that's the reason I like it. So with these brushes, I do have a super small one, but I didn't want to pull that out. I just wanted to use one brush this time. Just gonna keep getting ink on my brush. You can rub this in any way. You could do counterclockwise, clockwise, side to side, up and down, however you need to get that color out on the paper or stencil, whatever you're using. And I feel like the camera is jiggling a little bit. My apologies. And these brushes are just so super soft. I'm going to angle this a little to get on these lines. They're definitely difficult to get the lines. And what's nice is that for each bee, it won't have the same coloring, because as you blend it in, it picks up color in different locations. So it might be darker middle. You can make the bottom half darker and fade it lighter. You do have a lot of control with this. And it's just going on buttery smooth. I get a little over here, if you can see the rainbow through the stencil. I think I gotta get a little more here. Now my brush is super concentrated with the color. So I am going to go right into the last bee. There, that helped out. Let's try that. There we go. But I like that it's not going to be all one color. You'll see when I pull this off what I mean. Okay, we good? I think so. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. Let me put my lid on my ink so that I don't get it all over. And I'm just going to set my brush on this napkin so that hopefully I don't get it all over my desk. And then I'm going, when I peel this off, I'm going to put the stencil onto the scrap paper until I wash it off. And even while it's on the scrap paper, I could take a tissue and just wipe it, clean. So if I just peel this off of the one sheet and the other, let's keep that there. Okay, here we go. See how easy that's peeling off? How cute is that? What? I love this. Okay, let me put my little stencil down here so that I don't get it all over. And to make my point, I'm just going to grab a piece of tissue and let me show you what I mean. Now, because this is an ink, you could also use a very gentle cleaner. So, if you were using stamps or, there's acrylic stamp spray you can usually use. So I'm basically just going to take the most of this off, as you can tell, just to keep it somewhat clean. And the interesting thing is if you put it onto another piece of paper, you would have this same pattern again. So I'm just continuing to wipe. I'll show you a little bit about what I mean. Oops. Okay, so see how much, and it's still coming off. So that's good because that means I'll be able to clean it, hopefully. As a crafter, I do like to have clean tools and supplies. That's just my thing. So it's very faint, almost to the point where you can't see it. Where like by rubbing the ink down through the butterfly, it went onto the paper. So I'm just going to set this aside now. before I ink everything. And let me show you close up. How cute is that, right? So as you can tell, it's a little darker down here, and then it lightens as it goes up. How cute. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, my plan is to, I'm just gonna move these off to the side so I don't hit them or knock them over or anything of that nature. Okay, so I plan to use my gray mild liner and my Micron 01 black pigment marker. And then also, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I'll grab it, which is also the Micron PN pen, and it's also in black. So the nice thing about the Micron is you can use it against the mild liners, and it works perfectly. It doesn't smear anything. Let's see if I can do a little, let me test it both ways for you. I know this is a small piece of paper. So let's first put the marker. That's actually darker than I thought. And let me grab my Micron. You may not be able to see it, but just a quick scribble. Okay, so there's if you put the marker down and then you write over it, and then if you write and then marker over it, which you may not see this now because I thought this was lighter. I may have to just check quick, make sure I don't have a lighter one because it kind of wasn't, I may have to do something different. Okay, so then you do this. So see how it didn't smear? So that's the nice thing about the Micron markers. I do know, or the mild liners, is I do know that these two work in tandem. So knowing that this color was this dark, let me check. Okay, so I have this one. This is a Tombow, and so I kind of wanted to do like a yellow and gray. So this one's lighter, but it almost has a shading difference to it. So let me do this. Just getting some dust off there. So here's my plan. What I want to do is, so for each of these squares, and I want to start from the bottom, work my way up, and then if I need to, I can flip it, do the pattern again, start at the bottom, work my way up. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to make each square be 50. So for every time I got to the 50 subscriber point, I wanted to do something, which was take my mild liner, and I was going to, you know, kind of scribble, give it a little swash of color, and this would already be in there. So for example, and then there's more, so stay with me. I have not tested the pen. I think I'm going to go with the Micron 01. And so let's see, if we go left to right, we'll do this way, maybe, weave it in and out. So if we said here, so this would have to be 50. And then this would be 100. Okay, so what I did was just grabbed a scratch piece of paper. I just want to cover that so I don't smear it. So this is, let's see, 50, 100, this will be 150. Okay, So what I did was made sure to kind of go in this pattern. At one point you can see although I think, did I get this right? Right, 1, 2. Yes, okay. And as you can see, I will need to go over on to the other side, but I'm going to do just this front page for the film, and then or for the video, and then I'll flip it over and do the back side. So I just want to show you what I was going to do with it. So once I have all of this made up, again, I was going to use the mild liner, but it just seems kind of dark against this yellow. So, but it would stand out. The only other one I have would be like this gray here, which would be super dark. Okay, so these are the only gray markers that I have. I did want to do the yellow and gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with, I didn't like the Tombow color. While it is gray, it almost looks purple when it's up against this color. I don't know why. So I think I'm going to have to, unfortunately, just stick with the mild liner. It is what it is. So at this point, I can, and the goal here is as I do the tracker, that as I reach that goal, I will go ahead and do what I'm just going to do now. And I'll start at the top and work my way down because I know that I can fill this in. So all I was simply going to do was this. Just give it a swash of color. I'll try and use a light hand since this is a darker color than I originally thought. It's a simple, easy tracker. But what I like most is that I get to celebrate you, all of you who have taken the time out of your schedules to watch my videos. So that was what I was going to do for my tracker. Now, I had thought about the title, and I think what I'll be doing is probably down this edge because I do have an edge here. I have to decide if I want to do a banner of some sort or if I want to do just the words, but I'll be putting on here YouTube subscribers. So, and it just looks so pretty to me. And I get to celebrate you. And so now what I'm going to do, and I don't have it for all of, again, we're just going to talk to what I have so far. I don't have the detail of all of them that I have thus far, but what I wanted to do was make special mention to the two persons that I know I can find a marker for. So I don't know when this person commented. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in on the box approximately 2 people for this first page. So the first person that I'm going to put in the box would be down here in this box because that is the first box and I'm pretty sure it was within this area. Again, I don't know for a fact because I didn't keep that much detail. But this person was my very first commenter. And I appreciated her comment because she had pointed out that I did speak softly and that it was very hard to hear me. And I had learned a lot of things as I was going along with this whole YouTube process and project that I wanted to work on. So I appreciated her comment because she pointed out something that I was a little worried about and she confirmed it for me. So that catapulted me into investigating further about, microphones, things I can do to, make my voice louder maybe as it comes across the video. So that person is Linda Taylor 3834. Thank you so much for your very first comment on my very first video. I truly appreciate it. Your handle is going to go in on this 50 marker. And that is going to go, I think I want to put it within the 50. So let's see if I can get it in there. I'll just put this in quotes. And I'm just going to do right here just a little heart. So thank you, Linda Taylor, for your very first comment and for pushing me to look into further microphones. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So the next one I'm going to mark down, again, I don't know exactly when it was, and so I'm just going to kind of pick out a spot where I think it was. I mean, I know the date, but again, I didn't really keep track of anything up to a certain point. So the next person I'm going to put onto my YouTube subscriber list and tracker is Debbie Herring 2644. She is someone who has commented most frequently on my videos, and I truly appreciate her, and I appreciate you all. But I'm going to list Debbie here as she is someone who had stood out because she had commented on almost every video since her first video that she commented on in January. So I am going to put her, it's going to be random because I don't know, so I'm just going to put her up here under 350. And give myself a little more room here. I'm just going to give it a little more color. So there we go. So that is what I wanted to create for you today. I just wanted to take the time before I finish the video to thank each and every one of you for taking the time and watching my videos. I know I've said it multiple times throughout this particular video, but I do truly appreciate you watching my videos, commenting, suggestions, and I truly, truly hope I have inspired you to do something creative today and every day, and that you create your beautiful life one plan at a time. Thank you for watching.